Lone Wolf Portable Tree Stands, your silent partner, presents Whitetail Addictions. This week on Lone Wolf's Whitetail Addictions, we're going to introduce you to a couple of new whitetail addicts, James Lee and Cody DeQuisto. These guys are after some big late-season bucks in Ohio and Illinois, and it's sure to be a great show. James Lee is from Central Ohio, and like a lot of our addicts, started at an early age with the help of his father. James spent most of his teenage years chasing small game with his dad and brother. But it wasn't until a little further down the road when his addiction to chasing whitetails began to take hold.
In school, I always had a tough time concentrating. My teachers were always on me. Underneath my books, a lot of times I had North American whitetail. I was reading about rub lines and that sort of thing instead of about algebra or history class. I can remember when I finally got out of school, I didn't have to play sports or anything anymore. I got my first compound and I was going to start deer hunting. The first year didn't go so well, but the next year I scouted all summer, and by the second Saturday of the season I was able to take my first Popin young deer with a bow. I had found a deer. I was able to learn where he was living. He had moved on me. I still was able to connect on him. Nothing in my life at this point had ever made me feel as proud as being able to put an arrow through that deer. It's pretty much consumed my life after that. I got into guiding, I got into video production. At this point I own my own production company, and it gives me the time that I can spend outside chasing these deer that they drive me crazy sometimes, that's for sure. For me, deer hunting's kind of been like my church. It's my release. Someplace that I can go, think about everything or think about nothing. I work year round. When I step on that platform, it's a chance to just let it go. Just when you think that it's never going to happen because it's too hot or it's too windy, twig branch breaks, you look over and see horns. You know that you're going to get a shot. There's no word in the English dictionary that can describe the feeling you feel when you know you're going to get a crack at a good buck.
Welcome back to Lone Wolf's Whitetail Addictions. Our first hunt takes place on a chilly Thanksgiving evening in Central Ohio. And with the first snowfall of the year coming down, James is excited about the evening's hunt.
How's that for action out of the gate? Get in a tree stand, look down, the camera's not even out of the bag, I'm not dressed. There's a 3.5-year-old standing right underneath our tree. Can't get him on camera. We got him a little bit while he was walking away. There's bigger deer in here. There'll be bigger deer by Thanksgiving Day. I love it. Snowing.
As the sun and temperature begins to drop, this young half-rack buck shows up along with a button buck. And then, exactly what James is looking for, a mature buck moves into view.
Now that is a big buck. It's a big buck.
me.
Still got deer right here beside us. I don't even know what happened. He came in here, got too close. Tried to shoot, I think I won one. Is he down? Stop. Give me one. Yes, I think I got him. I don't know what happened here. Maybe one long. Look at this other buck right here beneath us. Look. Free pass today, buddy.
James was confident he made a lethal shot on the Big 10 point. But after not seeing the big buck go down, opted to come back the following morning with his father and brother. Woo! And it didn't take long to find his late season trophy.
This is a big boy. It's what I've been waiting for. Woo! Now that is a big buck. Biggest one I've ever taken in my life. You eat Thanksgiving dinner, you think you can't get out in time? All it takes is 5 seconds. One hot dough can bring you something like this. Never in a million years would I thought that my whitetail season for bucks would end with a deer like this. What an absolute giant.
Lone Wolf's Whitetail Addictions will be right back. Lone Wolf's Whitetail Addictions is brought to you by Whitetails Unlimited, Whack-'em Broadheads, Lone Wolf Custom Gear and the Lobo, Lumenock, the Whitetail Institute, Border Crossing Sets, Predator Trail Cams, Waste Management, Lone Wolf Treestands, and these other fine sponsors. Closed captioning for this program was brought to you by Waste Management, a leading environmental company whose landfills provide over 17,000 acres for wildlife habitat. Think green. Think Waste Management.